Now we shall look at how WHO's controversial role in this arena of public health, which it has to spearhead globally, being an organization which has to lead this arena. We see a kind of action or behavior from this institution of aiding China probably. Here it has been accused of showing some bias towards China, and this has caused widespread criticism against WHO, particularly from USA and Japan. Now, how they have done it and how it has even indirectly led to the support towards China, we shall look at now. Remember, the entire pandemic that we are seeing today has been probably a local viral outbreak. Now we know that it has been extended to the greatest of the global disasters that our time has seen. It is probably because of the fact that China has one type of political culture. They always try to keep certain facts out of whatever the transparency that they have to maintain, because of which they can easily deny their accountability. So this entire political culture of secrecy rather than being informative probably has been the chief reason why the current local viral outbreak has led to become the greatest of the global disasters that our times have seen. Far from sounding the alarm when the new coronavirus was detected in Wuhan, what we have seen is that the Communist Party of China has concealed this outbreak and it has been allowed to spread far and wide. Remember, much later, even today, China continues to sow doubt about the pandemic's origin and it is trying to withhold potentially the life-saving data probably that it has. The WHO here has been complicit in this entire deception, as I told you. So instead of attempting independently to verify the Chinese claims, the WHO took them at face value and disseminated them to the world rather than looking at it substantially. So in mid-January, if you remember, as Hindu has noted, the body tweeted that the investigations by Chinese authorities had found no clear evidence of human to human transmission. This has been tweeted by WHO in mid-January, if you remember, as has been reported by Hindu. That means it has taken the stand of China by looking at whatever the statements that the China has given. Secondly, if you observe, as it has been noted by again the Hindu newspaper on January 2nd, it has said that Taiwan has issued a warning in December 31st. On December 31st, it said that such a transmission probably seems to be happening in Wuhan, and this has been clearly told to WHO. It seems WHO has ignored this warning that has been issued by Taiwan, even though we must remember that the information that the Taiwan wanted to share with WHO probably had been much more intelligent, being very close in proximity to China. However, Institute failed to take the preventive measures before it reaches any other country. So the WHO's persistent publicizing of Chinese narrative probably has kept all other countries in some sort of laziness with respect to this particular entire outbreak. Why? Because this has pushed them into dangerous complacency, delaying their response. Why? It delayed their response to this to this entire outbreak by weeks at least, because WHO has actively discouraged any action against not only China but also against their connectivity physically. And here If you observe, on January 10th, when Wuhan seems to be gripped by the outbreak, the WHO has said that recommend it did not recommend any specific health measures for travelers to and from Wuhan. This has also been referred to by Hindu newspaper. However, you must also remember here that it has said, even to the extent of saying that entry screening, whatever that other countries are probably having, including China, seems to offer little benefit. This has also been said by WHO on the same day. So it has advised against the application of any travel or trade restrictions against China. This is where probably it has acted adversely against the entire world. Here you must also remember that, as Hindu has reported on January 22nd, even after China's most famous pulmonologist Zhong Nanshan confirmed human-to-human transmission on January 20, the WHO continued to undermine any effective responses by downplaying the risks of asymptomatic transmission that the entire world is now feared of, and hence it has discouraged any widespread testing. So these two have been the key steps that the WHO has taken, because of which also the local virus outbreak has become a global disaster. And here you must also remember that meanwhile China was hoarding, as I told you in the previous sessions, lot of personal protective equipment, probably that it is in requirement of scaling bad exports of Chinese made PPE and also medical gear, and hence importing the rest of the world's supply. So in the final week of January, when this entire thing was known, you find that the country has imported, as I told you already, 56 million respirators and masks, just even according to the official data that WHO itself has presented. So by the time the WHO finally labeled the epidemic a public health emergency on which date? January 30, we find that travelers from China had carried COVID-19 to very far-flung areas of the world, including Australia, Brazil, France, and Germany. This is where their demand to have some independent investigation into the outbreak and spread is really valid. Yet you find that when Australia, India, Indonesia, Italy, and US imposed restrictions on travel from China, you find that WHO's Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus roundly criticized these actions, arguing that they would increase, according to him, fear and stigma. You see this reaction, it increases what is called as fear and stigma, and it doesn't offer any public health benefit according to WHO. However, it is the same organization which has went on to recommend strict lockdown measures, as all the nations in the world are lacking what is called as valid and sustainable and to the required public health infrastructure. Only after much of this outbreak has become global disaster, that too at the instance of various other countries' recommendations. See how complacent the action of WHO was and its leader. And apart from this, at the same time, you must also remember, while criticizing such moves of travel ban, what Tedros did was he has extolled Xi's presidentship, because of which you here observe that when he says that his leadership is very, very rare, and he maintained utmost transparency. The bias has been so pronounced because it was this lack of transparency which has led to its outbreak to spread so heavily into the every corner of the world. This has been the reason why now we find that the Japanese deputy prime minister has been calling it a name Cho. I found one of my students using this expression who for WHO. I was surprised to hear this. It was something very, very unique that it appeared. Similarly, the Japanese deputy prime minister has used this expression Cho. Cho mean what? Chinese Health Organization. Chinese Health Organization rather than World Health Organization. According to him, it has become Chinese Health Organization. Yet, despite the WHO's repeated deference to China, the authorities there did not allow a WHO team to visit until mid-February. So the three of the team's 12 members were allowed to visit Wuhan, but no one was granted access to, please remember, the Wuhan Institute of Virology, the high containment laboratory from which a natural coronavirus derived from bats is probably rumored to have escaped. So in fact, a study has been conducted at the South China University. Remember this has also been reported by the Hindu newspaper. Whatever the study that has been conducted at this South China University of Technology in Guangzhou with support from the National Natural Science Foundation of China concluded in February that the killer coronavirus probably originated from a laboratory in Wuhan working on bat viruses, that is coronaviruses. This has been again stated repeatedly by Fox News, which says that it has collected some intelligence inputs from China itself. So China did not always enjoy, remember, differential treatment from WHO. How do we know this? When this first world endemic that was seen in 2002 in the form of SARS of this particular century, the agency called WHO has publicly rebuked the Chinese authorities for concealing vital information in what proved to be a costly cover-up. Now, how come the WHO has changed so much through time and it has become complicit in its actions? The probable answer probably is not the money that China contributes to WHO. I say so because whatever the contribution that China makes to WHO is relatively very, very small in its entire $6 billion budget that WHO has. So the issue here primarily is of what? Leadership. This is where I said not only the WHO, even her leadership has been acting in bias. Remember when this Ebola crisis was gripping the Africa, particularly the West African region, here we must remember that there were a lot of demands towards the reform of WHO as a premier world health agency looking after public health in the entire world. These measures have been taken up not only at the instance of various other developing Western democracies, but also at the instance of even China and India. So there were huge calls for reforming WHO. Here, under such conditions of reform and demands for such reform, we must remember that Tedros has been allowed to become its leader. Remember, he was earlier the health minister of Ethiopia. Being the health minister of Ethiopia, he has a very, very good track record. What is this, quote and unquote? Good track record. Remember, he has been accused of covering up at least three cholera outbreaks in Ethiopia while serving as her health minister. Nonetheless, few would have imagined that he would become WHO chief. However, at the instance of China, as we suppose today, he has become the chief of the WHO, number one. Number two, WHO has a one particular record in its entire history. WHO has been led by the physician chiefs in throughout its career until 2017, when the agency has seen first non-physician chief in 2017 with Chinese support. That is none other than Tedros. Here, nonetheless, few might have imagined that as WHO chief, the former microbiologist and malaria researchers would be complicit in China's deadly deception. This is where even her leader, the WHO's leader, has been so much criticized by none other than American president. So all these inputs have some sort of validity which have to be nullified by showing some independence towards inquiring into this entire episode. So the world will not be the same after this wartime like crisis that we are seeing today. You must remember that this particular pandemic will be seen as a turning point that has helped to reshape the entire global politics and restructure, remember, the vital production networks. This is very, very important. This is the one other issue that we must again focus on, apart from the failure of WHO to really look into this entire episode of pandemic. So the next important aspect that we must here look at, which has to be the part of the larger perspective through which these incursions must be seen, is how the world must wake up to the potential threats that are stemming from China's grip on many global supply chains. And here you must remember that the world has already started against such threats.